So today we are talking about why you should actually repeat your workouts. You may have heard me talk about this before. You may have heard me talk about progressive overload, but it comes up all the time. So I'm addressing it again today. One of my amazing clients who saw amazing results when she had her graduation call after her 6 or 7 months, she said she was always doing her workouts and she always got the results that she wanted, but her sister was always like, you need to do different workouts. Like, why are you repeating the same workouts? So I'm here to tell you why. So regardless of, what random people in your life are saying, you don't actually have to change your workout every day or every week, and you shouldn't. So I think there's a couple of things in sort of the fitness, world, or in social media and stuff, where there's like this belief that you have to switch things up all the time, or shock your body to get great results. And that's actually not true. And I'm going to preface this by saying, can you switch it up sometimes? Of course. Should you do things for fun? Absolutely. Should you try something different? 100%. But you don't have to. And that's not the way forward to consistency or to progress. So I have sort of 4 major reasons why I want you to actually repeat and progress your workouts and your program. So number 1 is just super basic. It is that you actually decrease the risk of injury. So you're less likely to hurt or injure yourself working out if you're familiar with the exercises, you've done them before, and then as you repeat them, you get more and more familiar with them, and it's less likely that you are going to hurt yourself doing something that you've never done before. And there's in the physiotherapy world, there's a phrase: you usually get injured in the position you haven't trained in. So what that means is if you do something new that you haven't trained for, or your body is not ready for it, it's common that you're going to hurt yourself. So athletes, football players, all athletes with great coaches train and cross-train in all positions for all movements, primarily the ones that they're going to end up in a lot, right? If they just ran and never trained to move side to side, they would be getting injured all over the place, and sometimes do, right? So number 1 is just practically, it decreases your risk of injury. Number 2 is you really don't have an opportunity to master an exercise unless you repeat it. So I come from a place of doing progressively overloading the same exercises. And so to me personally, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how my clients could, I don't even know how you could do certain exercises only once and never do it again, because I don't do it right the first time that I do it. I have a trainer who gives me new exercises every month or 2, and I do them for 6 or 8 weeks, twice a week. I have 2, she gives me 2 things, 2 series, and I do each one twice a week for 6 or 8 weeks. And I don't do it right the first time. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to spend the whole hour of my workout trying to master that one thing. I'm going to come back to it again in 2 days. I'm going to come back to it again in a week. I'm going to come back to it again in 2 weeks. And then my brain starts to make that connection. This is not only about your body. This is actually primarily about your brain and your nervous system. And we have to repeat something for our brain to get used to it. There is a neuromuscular connection between the brain and every part of your body where you feel sensation and move your body. And our brain is neuroplastic. It's like Play-Doh. So we have to mold it constantly and consistently. And once we do that, it's very good at picking things up. But if we do something once and then drop it, it's gone. It never sticks. It's a very you don't use it, you lose it is so true. So from a place of safety and really, mastering what you're good at, and then being able to add load and increase your weight or add plyometrics or add intensity or be able to do it for longer. I just don't know how you can do that safely unless you're repeating it a lot. That's just me. It's not just me, actually. It's backed in science, but that I really don't get that. So number 2 is you have to master what you're doing if you want to progress it and get better at it and lift heavier. Number 3 is like the be-all and end-all. You guys have heard me talk about it before. It is the concept of progressive overload. Okay? The secrets to success, to changing your body composition, to muscle gains, are consistency and progressive overload. Consistency means it's better to do something a little bit consistently over, a few times a week than to do one random thing super intensely, like once a month. And then again, see number 1 about decreasing risk of injury. So progressive overload means that you progressively overload the task that you're doing. So you do it this week with body weight. Maybe you do it next week with body weight. And then you add a band. And then you do the band for like 3 weeks. And then you do a harder band. And then you can use a kettlebell. And then you can do it on one leg. You progressively overload. You cannot do this if you're randomly doing exercises and workouts all over the place. It's not possible. There's no way that your brain or your body can adapt without this consistency. So this is really the main reason that I want you to repeat your workouts, is because it works. So I'm not saying I don't want you to repeat the same workout within a week, but I do want you to repeat it the next week. And this is based in research, and I can send it to you if you want the papers. Just let me know. But basically, people see, and I think that the most recent paper that I read, the duration was actually longer. It was repeating workouts for about 12 weeks. We ask our clients to repeat the same workouts for 6 or 8 weeks, and I feel that that's sufficient, and people see results, but it's a long time. And there are ways that you can switch things up, so you don't get bored, but that leads me to number 4, because I know people are like, some people get bored repeating the same workouts, okay? So here's my response to that. If you're getting bored, you're not in the game. Your brain is not there. Your brain is somewhere else, and you're asking your workout to show up for you as your entertainment. And that's not what it's there for. Once you repeat your workouts, you get out of your head. You don't have to think about it so much. You get into the flow. You move your body, it feels good. You should be thinking about what you're doing. This is a practice in mindfulness, right? Fitness and mindfulness. Listen to some good tunes, get out of your head. The first time you do a workout, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how things are going, you have to think about it a lot. So repeat that workout for 6, 8 times, over a course of weeks or months. And you don't have to think about it so much. You're like, oh yeah, we're going into this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna think about this in my body, and then I'm gonna do this cardio thing, and it's gonna feel like this, and I'm gonna notice what, my heart feels like today, and my knees, and my hips. Like, I'm going to notice by being in my body and being mindful. Comes back to decreasing the risk of injury, right? You increase body awareness, you know what you're doing, and then it's not boring because you are aware and you're living in this experience of being in your body rather than just like checking it off, getting it done. Like, you are here for a purpose in this workout, which also takes me back to, I did a training about why flailing isn't getting you results. And this relates to that. Is your workout for you? Is it custom? Do you need to be doing these things? Do you need to be doing other things? Is this appropriate for you? So really, all in all, my number 4 is to repeat it for nothing else than to get into the flow, or get into a flow. Once you have done the same exercises or workout few times, several times, you think less about executing them. You think and worry less about executing them. You execute the exercises and the workout more naturally. You're able to get more into your body and feel what's going on. You get out of your head, because is anyone else an overthinker, and into your body. And this is great for your mental health, and it increases your body awareness. when you're not so worried about where your body is in space, you can actually feel what you're feeling. Like, I've seen personal training clients and coaching clients come into this so many times in so many ways. I love to hear a client. I'm thinking of one in particular, although this happens all the time. We seem to struggle connecting with our glutes, with our butt, especially if we've never used it intentionally. So I'll work with a client a few weeks and they'll be like, I don't know what you're asking me. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. 4 weeks later, I'm starting to feel it. Oh my goodness, I feel this thing. This thing is contracting that wasn't contracting before. Yeah, because I made you do the same thing for 6 weeks. Or I always, with new clients, first workout, they say, it took me longer because I was figuring things out. I was like, blah, 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 figuring out the exercises. Even after their second or third workout, clients are always saying, it went faster this time. It felt better. I had a client in Trainer Eyes today saying, oh, these exercises came up in a new workout, but the exercises are familiar to me. And so I was excited about it because I knew how to do it and I could go all out. Not overthinking of it. And then what does that do? That builds your confidence. And then what does that do? That makes you a little more excited about working out. And then if you're excited about working out, you're probably going to do it more often and not dread it. And if you're working out more often, you're going to be consistent. And if you're consistent, you're going to see results in your body and your brain. And that's pretty much it. So those are my top 4 tips. If you guys have questions about that, I would love to hear them. And just to recap, I want you to repeat your workouts so that you don't hurt yourself. So you can actually master exercises and sequences so you can progressively overload them safely and so you can get out of your freaking head and into your body and improve your mental health via your workouts. Okay? So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments.